Chapter 23. An explanation of chapter 31 of the Proverbs of Solomon, to which the Lord referred me regarding the life of Most Holy Mary in matrimony. As soon as the Princess of Heaven, Mary, found herself so unexpectedly in the new state of matrimony, she raised her pure soul to the Father of Light for illumination and direction in the fulfillment of all its obligations according to his pleasure. In order to give me some insight into her holy thoughts at this time, the Lord referred me to the last chapter of the Proverbs, in which Solomon outlined the virtues of Our Lady in describing the qualities and doings of a valiant woman. Discoursing on this chapter, I will say as much as I can of what I was made to understand regarding her. The chapter begins with the words, "Who shall find a valiant woman? The price of her is as of things brought from afar off, and from the uttermost coasts." This question is one implying admiration in regard to our great and valiant woman, Mary, and a doubt in regard to all other women, when compared with her. For none other as valiant can be found in the whole range of the human and natural existence. All the others are weak and wanting, not one being exempt from tribute to the demon through the guilt of sin. Who then will find another woman? Not the kings and monarchs, nor the princes of the earth, nor the angels of heaven, nor the divine power itself will find another, since it had not created another like her. She is the only one without a peeress or one resembling her, who was exalted in dignity according to the measure of his own omnipotence. For he could not have given her more than his own eternal Son, consubstantial, equal to him in immensity, uncreated and infinite. Accordingly, the price of this woman is as something coming from afar, since upon earth and among creatures there was none like to her. The price of a thing is the value for which a thing is bought, or at which it is estimated. Then is its price known, when it is known at what value it is held or estimated. The price of this valiant woman Mary was set in the council of the most blessed Trinity, when God himself claimed or purchased her for himself in advance of all the other creatures, having received her in real purchase as a sort of return for the creation of the whole human nature. The price and payment which he gave for Mary was the incarnate Word itself, and the Eternal Father, according to our way of speaking, considered himself sufficiently repaid by Mary. For finding this valiant woman in his divine mind, he set such a value on her that he devoted his only Son to be at the same time his Son and hers. And the Son himself took from her human flesh and chose her as mother. Thus this purchase price by which the Most High acquired and appropriated her included his wisdom, goodness, omnipotence, justice, and all other attributes, and all the merits of his Son, releasing beforehand the whole human race from debt, so that, if all men were to be lost as Adam had lost himself, he would still have left Mary and her Son. Hence, truly she was estimated at a price so distant that all creation would not be able to reach an estimate and appreciation of it. This is meant by the saying that she came from afar. By this term afar are also to be understood the ends of the earth, for God is the last end and the beginning of all creation, from which all things proceed and to which all things return, as the streams return to the sea. Also, the empyrean heaven is the final material end of all corporeal matter, and it is called in an especial way the footstool of the divinity. Yet, in another sense, the end of natural life and the full perfection of virtue might be called the ends of the earth, for in these is fulfilled the purpose of man's natural existence. Being called forth by the Creator for the knowledge and love of God, he himself is the ultimate and most apparent end of life and action. All this is included when the price of Most Holy Mary is said to come from the farthest ends. Her graces, gifts, and merits came and commenced from the ultimate regions. They began where those of the other saints, the virgins, confessors, martyrs, apostles, and patriarchs, ended. They in all their lives and all their sanctity did not arrive at the point where Mary merely commenced. And if Christ, her Son and our Lord, calls himself the end of the works of Abraham, so can it be said with equal justice that the price of Most Holy Mary is as from the farthest ends. For all her purity, innocence, and sanctity came from her most holy Son as the exemplary, anteceding, and principal cause of her alone. The heart of her husband trusteth in her, and he shall have no need of spoils. It is certain that the heavenly Joseph is called the husband of this valiant woman, as he had legitimately espoused her. And it is also certain that his heart confided in her, believing that on account of her incomparable virtues, all true blessings would come to him. But especially did he trust in her when he perceived her pregnancy, and yet was ignorant of its mysterious origin. For then he believed and hoped against hope, all indications being adverse, and having no other foundation for his hopeful belief than the holiness of such a spouse and wife. And although he resolved to leave her, as he saw the outward tokens of pregnancy with his own eyes without the slightest knowledge of the cause, yet he never ventured to distrust her honor and modesty, nor did he ever diminish in his holy and pure love with which his most upright heart was bound to such a spouse. Nor was he disappointed in anything, nor was he in need of spoils. For if spoils are things that are superfluous, then this man was abundantly supplied with them, as soon as he knew who was his spouse and what belonged to her.